It's That Lil Gay Talk Show, Houston's hot mess of a podcast. A funny but thoughtful look at the LGBTQIA plus community.
Hello, everyone. It's Joel Tatum, your ordinary extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire.
I call myself the ordinary extraordinaire.
I kind of like that, Joel.
Yeah.
You need to put that on your business card.
I feel like that when I'm in the room with fascinating people, this is what I talked about in a little bit in therapy.
Yeah.
Is that I feel like that I'm surrounded by such dynamic people that I feel ordinary. I feel...
Oh, gosh, and that makes me so sad.
No,
you know how I feel about it.
I know, but you really shouldn't feel sad about it because I'm like, you know what? I surround myself with extraordinary people. So I was laying in bed one night thinking, why not just call myself the ordinary extraordinaire?
I like it. I like it.
Awesome.
Speaking of extraordinary, I'm Wendy Taylor. And we also... And of course, we also have with us today our producer, Phoenix Quinn Johnson.
Hello, Phoenix Quinn Johnson.
Hello.
How are you doing, Phoenix Quinn Johnson? I really wanted to say that I'm going to call them by their full name, Phoenix Quinn Johnson.
PQJ.
Doing the full name today, huh?
Paquidja.
And welcome to the producers episode.
Welcome to the producers episode. I have been looking forward to this episode since we started this season for so many reasons. Of course, like the biggest one I think on everybody's lips is Chris. I think that's the biggest one.
Well, it took us a little while to get to the producers episode. We had so much happening after the holidays. We had so much happening in our own personal lives. And I don't think I was ready to talk about Chris maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Because I was still in my phase, and I'm still kind of there. There are times that I think about him a lot.
Yeah.
And he is on. Now, I know there's people in the audience going, what are they talking about? I'm talking about my friend Spunkmeyer Brown, or Christopher Purvis.
So, he was
passed away November 12th of last year.
Right. He was a producer on the show with us. He helped us get the show started. But more than that, he was a friend. And I know he was an incredible friend, longtime friend for you, Joel. For me, you know what he is to me in my head? He's like my Jiminy Cricket.
He is. He was.
Yeah. He's like Jiminy Cricket. He's the little voice on your shoulder that's like, but he's like a sassy bitch.
Yeah.
He's always like trying to guide you in the right direction of morality, but also fun. But also he's like, don't take no shit. So.
Yeah, because he was the first person to now. What I loved about Chris was the fact that our backgrounds were kind of similar when it comes to exes and bad relationships and the such. And seeing him now, I knew Chris for about 4 years. I met Chris on Growler.
I love where this is going.
I love telling that story because I met him on Growler. And for most people who know, who might have been listening for a little while, I also met my last co-host on Growler. So I met essentially my last co-host. Well, not my last co-host. My last co-host was Julio, but my co-host before that, Charlotte Shotguns, who is now in Washington. I think Washington. I think they're in Washington State. It's either Oregon or Washington State. I forget. But they are doing their whole drag thing in the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to say that.
Nice. There you go. That works.
They're in the Pacific Northwest doing their thing and posting their drag everywhere. So they're having a good time.
That's good. Good for you. Hey, Charlotte.
I met Chris on Growler. And Chris came over Simply because he was trying to sell me weed. It wasn't a sexual thing. He actually came over because I'm trying to remember. I think he told me he thought I was going to sell him weed or he was going to sell me. Weed was involved.
Who's got the weed, you guys?
And he actually came over on a day when me and Randy and a couple other people were sitting down getting ready to record. So he actually knocked on the door right when we were about to record. And he sat down and watched the whole thing, and he had such a good time that he stayed.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I got to know him from that point on, and he has been a part of my life since then, a part of the show since then, mostly a part of my life because this bitch got me through 2020. Him and my cousin, I give them both credit. They got me through 2020 because honestly, how I made it through 2020.
That's the kind of dude Chris was, though. Like, apparently he was that for so many people. Like, he just was a safe place. He was a safe place for so many people. And also the light that he emitted. Man, like he was a straight up spotlight. And not only that, but he liked to shine that light on everyone around him.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Like,
he enjoyed being Spunkmeyer Brown. He really did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He really enjoyed being Spunkmeyer Brown when Spunkmeyer Brown was. Now, Spunkmeyer Brown was a part of the show back in the day. It was 4 of us. He was a part of the show back in the day. It was fun. We had a great time, but it was so much drama. There was so much drama from another co-host of mine, and some other stuff was going on. And so,
it's always behind the scenes.
2020 rolled around, and then we all had to separate and stay in our homes. And then the funny thing is that while I was going through oh my God, the world's going to end. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm alone in this apartment. For the first time, I started to think, oh my God, I'm going to die alone.
Oh.
That was the first time that I thought, I'm actually going to die alone. Wow.
Oh, wow.
This is how I set my life up. I have no boyfriend. No, not really close with my family. My best friend moved to, and I'm saying that in quotations, my best friend moved to Arkansas right before the pandemic. That's another story. But I don't think I want to share that story on the air because there's a lot of complications there. But for the most part, he said, you know what? I'm going to get you through this pandemic as your life coach.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Yeah. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I'm taking this life coaching course, so you'll be my first client. And I'm like, okay. He goes, Joel, don't worry. We're going to get through the pandemic. Now, he was also a super hypochondriac, but he had reasons. He had a heart condition. So he had every reason to be, so he was super careful.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the same time, I could pick up the phone easily.
Yeah.
And call him on the phone, and we could talk for hours. I mean, he's one of the few people that I could actually talk to on the phone. We would text.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, we texted. But when we text, it's more on the lines of, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing nothing. Want to come hang out with me? Yeah, sure, let's go hang out. That was our entire conversation in text. But if we needed to talk, all I had to do is pick up the phone. Okay, Joel, what's going on?
Yeah,
what do I need to help you with?
He would always make time. He made time. Like, he really was just a freaking spotlight, dude. Like, he just a light in the world. And I think the world is, you know what's the craziest thing about him, though? Like, I almost said it, and then I really thought about it, that the world is a darker place without him. But I got to say, it isn't, because that light is in every single one of us that he left behind. And I don't feel darker without him. I feel enriched because of him.
He's the reason why and I tell my therapist this, he's one of the reasons why I'm in therapy
Yeah.
Because he got me here.
Yeah.
He got me here. So, yeah, he's one of the reasons why I'm in therapy. I wish that he was around long enough for me to tell him that, hey, guess what? I'm finally in therapy. I wish he had stayed around a little bit longer. But, it was time he died of natural causes. It was time for him to go.
Yeah.
Whether, I feel like, I know this is weird to say, it's harder for me because if he had died of an accident, if he had been killed by someone or something like that, I think I would have been able to handle it better. But knowing that he died of natural causes, which in my head means that, oh my God, it was your time to go.
Yeah. And he was so young.
Mm-hmm. He was 10 years, he was 45, 46. He was
way too young.
He was 46.
It's hard to swallow when anyone loses their life prematurely. It's always heartbreaking. Like it's heartbreaking no matter how it happens. Obviously there are mitigating circumstances to awfulness, obviously, but the loss is there nonetheless. And when they are too young,
so young,
it's so hard to swallow that loss.
And I never got to see his dick. I never got to see his dick. We had a dick measuring contest on the air for one of the episodes because he swears up and down that he was bigger than me. And
wait a minute. So y'all had a dick measuring contest on the air and you didn't take that opportunity to see it?
No. No. We literally had to go in the bedroom and measure ourselves. And then come back with numbers.
Okay. I don't want to know.
And he is an inch and a half bigger than me. An inch and a half. Girth and length. Girth and length. And I'm like, what? He goes, I'm Italian. What can I say?
Oh, shit, come on, tripod.
What can I say?
So that's, they always say never speak ill of the dead. And, talking about how our Jiminy Cricket tripod is so seriously missed on this show. Seriously, if Chris's family is listening to this, so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Who he was.
I'm so sorry.
They knew that sometimes he was arrogant. Sometimes he was arrogant. Sometimes he was a bitch. Sometimes but he always knew how to put me in my place when I needed it.
He just always made me laugh.
And, Comic Palooza, which I did not sign up for because I was so wrapped up in...
Don't worry about it.
Everything that happened. I didn't sign up for it this year. And...
We'll figure it out.
I have to tell you, last year, he said something that completely blew my mind because no one had ever told me that. He said, Joel, you put this all together. You got all this stuff together. You made sure that we were here on time. You made sure that you got up early. You made sure that you did all the stuff. I'm so proud of you.
Oh.
He goes, you have really allowed me to be as creative as I want to be as well. And I'm so proud of you. Gosh,
I just can't say it enough. Like, he was just a light. He was such a light. He was full of joy and honesty and kindness, not niceness, kindness. He would tell you the truth.
Oh, Chris wasn't nice.
He would tell you the truth.
Chris was not nice.
That was something that I always kind of loved about him, is that he would tell me the truth. He would tell me the truth, and he wouldn't say it to hurt my feelings. He would tell me because he thought I deserved to have the truth.
Because I feel like his truth was he taught me about boundaries. That was the first time I learned him. He taught me about boundaries. When Chris said no, he meant no. Period.
Yep.
He was one of the few people where I couldn't beg him to do something.
Yep.
If he didn't want to do something, he did not want to do it. Period.
Nope.
You could not talk him. He taught me about boundaries. He knew when to say no to the right people. Now, he had a couple of issues with the ex. I'm not going to get into that once again. That's
their business.
That's their business.
Yep.
But for the most part, yeah, he was incredible. He was the most grounded person. I miss him. So when you finally meet someone who gets you, I mean, really gets you.
Yeah.
I mean, really gets you. And at the same time wants to see you do well. Really actively goes out of his way to make sure. He paid for the poster for Comic Palooza. And when I tried to pay him back, he goes, you paid for all the Ubers. You made sure we got tickets. You did all this stuff. Here's a gift. This is your gift.
Nice.
Before he left, before he moved to Las Vegas. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I can pay you back. And he's like, no, Joel,
Yeah, he's generous.
It was an investment.
Yeah, he's so generous of himself, of his time, of his resources. He was a generous, kind, funny man.
Funny
man.
Funny
Oh my
guy.
God, he was. Dude, can we talk about what I wanted to do? What we talked about?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so because I know we have other topics we want to talk about, and we could literally talk about Spunkmeyer for 3 hours.
Yeah, we could.
I wanted to say that in honor of Spunkmeyer, we wanted to start a yearly Spunkmeyer Brown Award to go to one of our guests every season that exhibits character, commitment to community, generosity, kindness, all the things that we value and respect here, that we loved so much about Spunkmeyer Brown, that goofy motherfucker.
I know.
But this year, obviously, the award goes to Spunkmeyer. Next season, you guys be on the lookout. Make sure you pay very close attention to our guests, because there will be a contest to see who wins the Spunkmeyer Award.
I can't wait for that. I already have a couple of nominees so far. Now we are going to be upping the guests coming up. They're going to be a lot.
Oh yeah, we have so many things coming up.
We have so many things coming up, and like I said, I know we've been a little inconsistent when it comes to putting out episodes. Don't worry, we're summer's coming up. Y'all are about to be inundated.
You're gonna be sick of us.
You're gonna be sick of me. That's someone on TikTok said. You're gonna be sick of me. I know I'm not doing that right, and I really don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at this point.
Dude, speaking of TikTok, OMG.
TikTok has been actually rather busy for the last couple of months. They've had a lot going on.
Yeah, so our government, can we talk about this?
Yeah, let's talk about
our
it.
government's
Let's
talking
throw that
about
in.
our government's talking about wanting to get rid of TikTok, you guys. Y'all. I keep saying you guys. Deb's gonna come up behind me with the rolled up newspaper and hit me in the back of the head. She just it's one of these days. I'm sorry, Deb. I'm sorry. Hey y'all. So hey peeps. I'm sorry. I'm trying to the homies. Okay, I'm trying to think of gender neutral, like everybody terms. Anyway, so our government's talking about getting rid of TikTok because it's a quote unquote Chinese run company, but it's not. It's Singaporean.
It's not a Chinese run company.
It's Singaporean.
I have watched.
It's Singaporean.
I watched some of the C-SPAN stuff when they were talking about that.
Oh, it was.
Watching a bunch of senior citizens talk about TikTok. This is why people in America are going to get these old motherfuckers out of Congress
For real. And how many times, what was that representative, I can't remember his name, and he kept asking the guy basically the same exact question about if he was Chinese or if he was ever going to be Chinese or if
that was one of those people was our own senator from Sugar Land. Mr. Ted Cruz asked some dumbass questions.
Oh, no, this one wasn't Ted.
Yeah.
This wasn't Ted.
I've seen some where Ted Cruz asked the same questions.
Oh, my gosh. Speaking of Ted Cruz, why are you asking questions, you fucking Canadian? Are you for real? Mm-hmm. The hypocrisy in that whole thing makes me kind of tingle.
Do you honestly think by the way, here are the numbers. 170 million Americans are on TikTok.
Right.
7 million businesses use TikTok. With 170 million Americans, by the way, of voting age.
Right.
With 170 million Americans who love their TikTok.
Yep.
You think they're not going to run out? Yeah. You think they're not going to run out to the polls if y'all ban it? You think they're not?
Oh, they're going to. They absolutely go. Do you know what my favorite TikTok was? This young Generation Alpha kid who got up and he was just this perfectly, hilariously adorable, kind of nerdy, geeky, definitely my kind of kid. And he was literally just up dancing, going, "I will not allow it," and doing these superhero poses, and I was like, you know what? I believe him. I believe him. I believe him. I don't think that's gonna fly. I just don't think that's gonna fly.
I honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really that worried about a ban on TikTok. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think here's what I think. From the standpoint of most of the creators on TikTok and most of the TikTok community, anything that Congress sets out to try to do, these people are going to take to the streets.
Oh, they will. But I mean, also, there's super easy ways to get around that. Just change your VPN to a different country.
Yeah, VPN.
That's super easy to do, y'all. If you don't know how, definitely look up VPN changing.
As someone once pointed out, y'all worried about China. Y'all are worried about China. Why would China, when America is doing such a fantastic job of surveillance?
Oh yeah, I mean we give our information away all the time.
And okay,
you don't think the government isn't listening on your phones and all your devices? That's what I'm saying though.
Everybody's all paranoid about this particular company having all of that information, but the thing is you already gave it to Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call
Amazon,
Elon. Anyway, so I probably shouldn't have said that.
Why do we keep saying we probably should have said that?
Just because it's in poor taste. It's in poor taste, and I almost apologize, because I mean it. But so you're already giving it away. Amazon, any of these apps that you have on your phone that are big companies, they already have all of your information. They have it already. They have it, and here's the thing, right? There's not some nefarious plot to take some random dude off the street and turn him into the scapegoat for the next serial killer, whatever. What it actually is they are trying to sell you shit on Amazon. They want to know if you have a close relative with a dangerous disease, because they want to sell you adult diapers, and they want to sell you wheelchairs, and they want to sell you this. And if you have kids, they want to sell you Sunday morning cartoons and Marvel and DC and Nintendo and all this other stuff. If you're a beauty person, they want to sell you Elf Cosmetics. All they want to do is sell to you. We are a capitalist society where everything revolves around the almighty dollar. What do you think they're doing with your information if not to revolve it around the almighty motherfucking dollar?
You know, the funny thing is that if I need something and I'm like, let me just whisper into my phone exactly what I need, and I'll watch the ads just pop up. I mean, here's something that a lot of people don't know, and I found this out a long time ago. I can't remember the name of the show, but there was a show that talked about this. But anyway, at one point, Facebook offered you two choices at the beginning of before Facebook became Facebook.
Right.
You could pay a monthly fee of $10. No, not a monthly. You could pay $10 a year.
Yep.
You could pay $10 a year, and you would have absolute privacy. None of your information would be sold or anything else. Or you could do it for free, and we're going to just throw all your information out there.
Yep.
Americans chose free.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because
Americans
what's
chose
so
free.
interesting about me, but here's the thing that kills me about social media, y'all. Okay, this is the thing that absolutely fucking destroys me, and I hate social media, even though I have been quite enjoying TikTok lately, and I didn't think I would ever say that. I didn't think I would ever say that. But yeah, I started singing again, so don't tell anybody.
You're on TikTok.
I know. But anyway, I digress. The thing that I hate about social media is that you are literally giving away your content for free every day.
Yeah.
All of these things that you could be doing to put towards a TV show. Y'all want to know why entertainment sucks today? Because all of the talent is giving it away on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm going to say, as a viewer, thank you. I enjoyed, you know what I enjoyed? On TikTok, I spent 3 days watching no TV, not being on my phone or anything else, enjoying the Risa Tisa thing. 50 episodes of Who the Fuck Did I Marry was the most amazing thing on TikTok. 10-minute videos. These were 10-minute videos that described her relationship with a compulsive liar from 2020 to the present.
Goodness.
50 episodes. Now, TikTok has this new feature that they added where you can do 10-minute videos.
Yes.
Right.
But the thing with 10-minute videos is nobody watches them.
Nope.
Because we all have the attention span of a gnat.
Yes.
Because we've been watching TikTok videos for so long. So here she comes. She decided that she was going to talk about her experience for 10 minutes each video. And she went up. This was, for her, this was just a way to get that situation off her chest.
Right.
And to hopefully help some other woman who might be going through the same thing.
Right.
It was the biggest thing on TikTok in the last 5 years. 10-minute videos, 10 million views. People were literally sitting down over the weekend. In fact, they said, from a couple articles I read, that 3 days of TV time was lost because 25 million people were watching the Risa Tisa videos.
That's why they want to shut TikTok down.
Oh, yeah.
So TikTok
it's too powerful.
TikTok has also helped. Now, I just read this morning, and this was the most fascinating thing. Now, you saw this on Facebook. I have a 5-hour debate with someone about the Palestinian-Israeli thing.
Oh, holy cow.
5 hours. While I was at work, talking to someone who is from Israel, who is a friend of mine who is from Israel, and who is pro-Israeli.
Yeah, I think I saw part of that.
Yeah. So we argued for 5 hours. Now,
I saw that.
I'm not one for confrontation. I'm not one at debate because I have this need to not look foolish.
Right.
And here's where I know it's only been 2 sessions. Maybe I'm love bombing therapy right now. But the fact of the matter is that being able to talk to someone about certain things has actually helped me open up. I was able to have this discussion with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sort of made sure I found resources that he could go to. Cited, and what is the word? I cited, not resources. I cited different articles.
Just sources.
Yeah, I cited. Thank you.
Yeah.
I cited several sources. I did my due diligence.
Right.
We were having that discussion so that I could take away from what I was hearing from him was all the stuff that I hear from everyone on TikTok who is pro-Israeli.
Yeah.
Right.
And what I wanted to do was take that out of that context and have a real conversation about the whole situation. Now, we've had conversations about this before. I don't want to shock anyone at the table, but the fact of the matter is that I, years ago, kind of already figured this was going to happen. I've been watching this whole situation for years. Knew it was going to come to a head sooner or later. At one point in my journey, I was like, you know what? They can just kill each other and I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of Israel. I don't care. They can all kill each other. Now, that's where I was maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
That is callous.
5 or 10 years ago. When I look at the situation now, what TikTok has done, it has now brought the Palestinians into my living room. It has brought their tragedy into my living room. It has interrupted my For You page.
It's humanized
when I want to laugh and stuff. And I'm looking at the Palestinians in my face telling me everything that's going on.
This used to be something when we were in the news, watching it on the news, all it was a picture on a map with a name on it.
Exactly.
And the difference is now we're seeing these people's faces. We're feeling their pain. Like it's you can't hide from it anymore.
And you're starting to see, I'm starting to see them as human beings.
Well, I hope so.
In our culture, when you look at our culture, when we talk about migrants, when we talk about immigrants, we refer to them as animals. We refer to them as everything else but human beings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is what.
And even
Western
if they are
media,
human beings, they're illegal human beings. Like they're.
And Western media has taught us that when it comes to communicating how we see the other person.
Yep.
We are so thrown into good versus evil.
Yes.
Which is the most ridiculous thing ever. There's no such thing as absolute good or absolute evil.
Right.
You're either you're somewhere in the gray.
You're all of them. It's
all gray.
It's all gray.
Yeah, you're all of them. My biggest thing is like my biggest problem with the way that most of these conversations end up going is that it ends up either being anti-Palestinian or anti-Semitic against our Jewish brothers and sisters, and I'm not okay with either one of those things.
Right.
That's so abhorrent and disgusting and monstrous. It is just as monstrous as the actions that have happened over there by perpetrators that do not belong in power, that do not belong to make decisions for innocent civilians. That you're just as bad. Like all of those aggressions start as microaggressions, become aggressions, become physical, becomes actual systemic abuse. Okay, like it's all the same thing. And if you don't think you're in that same vein, honey, you need to take a better, closer look in the mirror, because if you are pushing out hate under a general umbrella for any reason, you're part of the problem.
Yep.
Yes.
And due to Western media's influence, when we see another group of people who are going through something, it starts with microaggressions. It's why didn't they do this? Or why didn't they when we talk about the people in the Congo, or we talk about people in Ethiopia as well, when we talk about the fact that in the Congo, their resources are being raped. Yep. And I'm sorry to use the R word, but their resources are being raped. Yep. Taken away from these people by by literally everybody in the West.
Everyone. Yep.
Yes.
By literally everyone in the West. I cannot sit up here and say it's just the United States. It's everybody in the West. Africa has had everyone from Europe all the way to the United States messing in their business. Yep. And we are now dealing with the consequences of that. Yep. And I'm dealing with, as a gay black man, looking at the fact that if I want to go to Africa to visit Africa, I cannot do it. Because in most countries in Africa, they are better at white Christianity than I think white people are sometimes.
Yeah.
They are better at white Christianity than I think white people are sometimes. Because the laws that they have on the books against anyone in the LGBTQ community are laws that white Christians in this country would love to have. They would love to have. That's what they're working towards.
It's because the white Christians took it there.
Yeah.
That's correct. That is correct.
So now having to have arguments with my African brothers and sisters about my homosexuality is not a fun conversation.
Oh, I would imagine not.
It is not a fun, and it's not a conversation based in logic. It's a conversation based in religion.
I think I just realized what white culture is. Salesmanship.
Yeah.
Salesmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's white culture. Fuck. We get salesmanship and mayonnaise. And raisins. Fuck.
I don't. You know what? I need to ask this question. I don't think I've ever seen any. Where did the raisins in the potato salad come from?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
I
no
don't
idea.
have any. I have never seen in my entire life of being around white people, have never seen raisins in a dish that didn't need raisins in it.
Okay, you know what my theory is? It came from the Midwest.
Oh, yeah?
I think so too.
Where do they use the most mayo?
That's true.
Where do they put the most random shit in their food?
Their salads aren't even salads.
Exactly.
I saw a video for a salad one time, and I'm like, "What? That's not a salad. That's got candy and chips and tomatoes and all kinds of weird stuff." And I'm like, "What?
Right.
This is not a salad."
Just because you throw things together does not make it a salad.
I know about ambrosia. I know about ambrosia, which is the worst thing ever. I don't understand ambrosia. I really don't.
No, I'm not a fan either.
Okay, Wendy, I'm not.
It's okay if you like it.
It's funny. In my family, we call that the pink stuff. We don't call it ambrosia. We just call it the pink stuff. And my granny's always like, "Who's bringing the pink stuff?" Because she loves it. Or was it always her that brought it? I don't know. Anyway, I used to think it was delicious fruit and yumminess.
Pineapples with cottage cheese on it.
Cottage cheese?
Yes, I saw a video with pineapples with cottage cheese and cheddar cheese on top. I'm like, what is this?
I apologize for my skin folk.
The textural sensation that I'm picturing is bad enough.
I cannot, will not, shall not.
I saw a white woman who decided she wanted to do green eggs and ham for breakfast, and she literally dyed eggs, grits, and ham in a pot with green dye. I'm like, why? Why? Now I know it was for St. Patty's Day, but it's green eggs and ham, not green eggs and green ham. She actually took one of those half loaves.
Yeah.
Dumped it in water and then poured green stuff inside of it.
Why?
I'm like, what?
Can we just eat food that's the color it's
what
made?
What is happening?
The color that it's made.
My TikTok has been my cooking videos. My TikTok has been my dancing videos. My TikTok has been watching people who are up and coming comedians. So singers, songwriters. My current obsession for comedians on TikTok is AJ Wilkerson. So he describes himself as an ADHD autistic social public speaking phobe who became a comedian. And he's absolutely hysterical, and I love that he doesn't mask. Like he uses, like he has all of these twitches and things and stems that he does while he's up talking, and people will ask him questions, and he just answers questions and laughs about himself and laughs about his family and laughs about other people's ignorance, because it is funny if you just let it be. Right? Let me go. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's okay to laugh at yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. Yeah. I like him. So many different creators. And you know what's really getting me is I'm watching the women on TikTok. The women on TikTok, my comedians, especially my black and even my white my white girls. My comedians are having a good time on.
They are killing it too.
They are killing it.
They're
on
straight up killing. I'm trying to remember the name of this one adorable. Like she's from Texas, but she doesn't sound like she's from Texas, and she plays guitar, and she's a lesbian, and she always does these little songs and little quips between her songs on stage, and I can't remember her name, and I'm so mad.
Wait, we don't know her?
No,
I would think that you of all.
I know.
You of all people would know.
I know, and she's got short blonde hair. She's got glasses. She's so cute. If y'all know who she is, please tag her because I love her. I love her. I love her, and I always catch her on little clips on TikTok. And every time I do, I forget, and then I flip up, and then I come back 10 minutes later. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go follow her. Oh shit. I can't find the video. So the next time, I swear to God, if you're listening, I'm going to follow you.
And there's also, my men aren't doing too bad. My men who are, especially my men who are playing women, I only follow those who are punching up. So right now there's corporate lady, there's CEO and CEO and boss, who I love so much. He is hilarious, or they. I'm going to use they.
Okay.
Because I don't know sexualities when it comes. I love Tony Talks. His videos are super weird, but super hilarious.
Yep.
I have a particular thing about, especially watching. I need to make sure that when black men are doing black women, that they are not using stereotypes, that they are punching up, or that they're creating characters that just happen to be black women.
Right.
But they make them funny. There's another creator on there. I cannot remember their name, but they're super popular. Dresses in the country dresses. They're black. I'm going to say they, because once again, I'm not really going to figure out gender or sexuality, but they do a country Christian black woman that is so hilarious. And the reads, when they have guests on, the reads are hilarious.
See, I'm here for a good I actually got my first burn on TikTok, y'all, and I laughed so hard. Holy cow. Okay, so basically what had happened was after it stormed, it was right at the golden hour, but it was right after this big thunderstorm. So instead of getting a golden hue, everything was pink. Everything was super pink. So I took the camera out and I was like thinking, oh, how beautiful, because the world was super quiet and all you heard was birds and a little breeze and the world was pink and it's glorious. And I take the photo or the camera and I look at myself and I show them out in the yard and I come back to myself and I said, I love it after a storm when the sun makes the world pink. And I didn't even think for a second, with my red skin and green hair and pink hue, that I would end up looking exactly like an Oompa Loompa. And then somebody said, wait, nobody's going to say it? Oompa, my gosh. And I lost it. So I lost it. Because here's the thing. I'm pissed that I didn't think of it first and sing the fucking video. It writes itself. Oompa loompa, sky is not blue. After it rains, it brings a pink hue. It's like, listen, like it writes itself. I could have totally sung the video, would have gone viral probably, but no. Instead, I got a snarky comment and a miserable demeanor. Because I couldn't.
A snarky comment and a miserable demeanor.
That's what I'm saying, because I was so mad that I didn't think of it first. Anyway, I thanked the guy for his comment because it made me laugh so hard. And then he came back with like a really nice comment about, he said, I had a beautiful backyard and thank you for having a sense of humor. And I was like, oh my God, no, dude, that was so funny. I'm so mad. I didn't think of it first. I'm so mad. Oh, it was so good. How come I didn't think? But anyway, now we know what I'm doing for Halloween.
Exactly. But oh, Lord. I'm trying to figure out how to introduce this next segment because I think it's going to get a little bit darker. But
is this the one I want to talk about?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Let's get into this one.
And I'm actually going to... Because we're non-binary at the table. We're also what did we say? Transgender neutral, transmasculine at the table. So I feel like that you guys know more about this subject than I do. So I'm just going to come in with a few things here and there.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to introduce it?
I'll let you introduce it.
Okay. This is something that has personally been ripping my heart apart every day since I heard about this story, and that is the story of Nex Benidict, who was a, I want to say 15, 14?
Maybe 13, 14, I think.
Yeah, young high school student, and they were non-binary, and they were bullied for weeks at this school. The school was aware, did nothing. This particular incident happened at Owasso High School in Oklahoma. And this, again, follows a lot of, like Ryan Waters is the superintendent of Oklahoma State Board, and he ran on the trans issues, that he said they don't belong in our schools. That trans people are the enemy, that they are the ones who are actually dangerous. And he won. And the week before Nex Benidict was attacked in their high school bathroom by 3 other girls, the superintendent, Ryan Waters, sent out another message about how trans people are the enemy. And let's not mention that the Washington Post did an incredible job doing a study finding out that all of the states that have enacted anti-LGBTQIA plus legislation and laws on their books have experienced 4 times the amount of bullying and hate crimes in schools against other students and teachers. The state of Oklahoma failed to protect Nex Benidict when they told them that they were being bullied and they did nothing. The state of Oklahoma failed to protect Nex Benidict when they put forth the policy that anybody who is assigned at birth, whatever they were assigned at birth, is what bathroom they're required to use, and putting trans students in danger. The state of Oklahoma failed Nex Benidict after they were attacked in the bathroom, because what happened was Nex was being bullied by these 3 girls who they didn't even know. And Nex has been bullied for weeks, and nobody was bothering to stand up for them or do anything. So Nex threw water at this girl, and these 3 girls proceeded to beat Nex's head into the ground. I'm sorry. This kid threw water at a girl and had their head stomped into the ground. I want y'all to let that sink in and tell me if you think that that was actually an appropriate reaction by these 3 girls. And also, I'd like you to consider whether or not you think all of these legislators and laws and adults that keep shoving all of this hate and anger towards a very small population of people in our community who are actually more at risk than they ever were a threat, just so they can feel superior and protect what little shell of pride they have surrounding their own sexuality and gender issues that they can't seem to swallow on their own, so that they have to look at porn that we're not even allowed to look at in Texas anymore. I'm so absolutely 100% mortified and disgusted with the state of Oklahoma. They are absolutely responsible for Nex Benedict's death, even though the autopsy results state that, I'm sorry, I should back up. Nex Benidict was attacked at school in the bathroom by 3 girls after they threw water on these girls for bullying them, and they beat them so bad they couldn't walk. After this happened, the school called not an ambulance, didn't make a report, didn't do the proper things they were supposed to do to protect Nex Benidict. They called Nex Benedict's guardian to have them come pick them up, and recommended that after being looked at, that they should probably go to the hospital and be checked out. They go to the hospital. They're checked out. Some of the police footage from that interview after Nex said they wanted to press charges was released. And I have to say, as far as I'm concerned, the state of Oklahoma, and far as the police officers' interaction that I saw with Nex Benidict after they were attacked sitting in a hospital room for throwing water on somebody, they failed them there too. That officer failed that student. They failed to protect that student. The school failed to protect that student. The state failed to protect that student. And the very next day after the hospital sent them home, Nex Benidict was dead to suicide. Now, but I want to mention that the autopsy is a little strange. If it was completely suicide, then please explain to me why there was so much head trauma, contusions, and swelling in the brain that didn't seem to be an issue for them when it came to talking about the results of the death of Nex Benidict.
And
you don't think that head trauma had something to do with their emotional state?
It did.
Yeah. So, not to mention the fact that there is an absolute 100% scientifically proven correlation between bullying and suicide. So those girls may not have pulled the trigger or overdosed them or anything else, but they absolutely killed Nex Benidict. The entire state of Oklahoma is guilty, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. This is probably one of the saddest stories I've read over the last few months. This also took me. I was also heartbroken. I was very heartbroken, and my anger is toward the superintendent and towards the government of Oklahoma
and the school,
and the school,
and those girls and their parents. Ooh, and the other, who was the asshole that after that child died, someone brought it up and his response to a dead child was, "We don't want that filth in our schools." That is a direct quote.
That was somebody from the Oklahoma Senate, I think.
Yes, I think it was. And I'm so horrified, disgusted, and mad, y'all.
But
let me tell y'all what I want to do about it.
But where's the shock or surprise?
No, nobody is. But here's what I want to do about it. I want to take 1,000 of my Houston gays and move to a dead town in Oklahoma and turn that motherfucker blue.
I'm down.
We will improve their education system. We will improve their infrastructure. We will improve a lot of things for them. And having an educated, healthy population is a better population all around. Everyone's more. Everyone has more. Everyone just has more, right? So we want to have an educated population, not a population that's easy to control.
Yeah.
And right now, Oklahoma, y'all look dumb as fuck. Y'all look dumb, and not only that, but what's worse, you look mean.
I don't know if mean would be the word I would use for it. You look...
evil.
I guess evil would be the term.
Yep.
I said, I don't like to use it that much, but people don't give a shit about anybody. Nope. And like I said... This is...
If it's not white Christian nationalists, y'all don't think they're human. And let me tell you something. We non-humans, we're going to come for you if you keep this shit up. Because I'm not the kind of person that just sits back and takes shit. I was raised here in the South, right here in Texas, in Houston, fucking Texas, with all of the same motherfuckers that are out here gun-toting, riding bulls, pushing hay, baling hay, fucking riding around in their four-wheelers, doing all that. You think I didn't grow up doing all that shit too? Plus, I'm a championship shooter. Please. I am your motherfucking Huckleberry. I am so sick of this shit happening to our kids.
And that's where we are today. A lot of groups, a lot of groups in this country are shouting the same thing. We are going to be looked at as human. You are not going to treat
You're going to see me.
You're going to see me.
You're going to see me.
We exist in this.
And you can't kill us. You can kill me, but you can't kill homosexuality. You can kill every single homosexual on the planet today, and tomorrow
there'll be
500,000 more will be born.
There'll be 6 more coming back.
You can't stop nature. It happens in nature.
It happens. Yep.
It happens in nature. Trans people have always been here.
Yeah,
we've always been here.
I know. They act like that trans people just popped up yesterday, and I'm like, What is
But what
wrong?
they don't know is that, you know, a lot of that information has been wiped from history because every time it's accepted and loved, some asshole who's closed-minded comes in behind them with a big army and new technology and tries to erase them from history.
It's political convenience. If you need if things are happening in your country is poor, you have a terrible economy. This happens in Russia. This happens in a lot of African countries as well.
Yeah.
You need a scapegoat. And guess who turns out to be the scapegoat? Anybody in society that's marginalized.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The latest scapegoat is trans people. Yep. That is the latest. Let's thank Donald Trump.
And it's not just trans people
it's
too.
Not just Trump.
Because it's not just trans people either. Now trans people are for real under fire right now. They are for real. Under fire.
They've always been under fire.
All LGBTQ people are under attack today, right now.
Yes.
Right fucking now, people, y'all need to get off of your ass, get out from behind your fucking keyboard, and go actually do something to help your community. Go speak to your neighbors who aren't gay. Go speak to your friends who have questions about trans people. Go meet a trans person, for God's sake, and talk to them about their actual lived experiences. And get rid of your own prejudices and predispositions to what you believe they think they might be, or what they think their life is, because you read something on the internet or saw a fucking 15-minute clip.
And can we please stop buying the far right bullshit of what they say trans people say?
Oh God, yes.
We need to,
love of God,
please stop listening to that shit.
They take like the 1 out of a million that agrees with one thing that they say and use that as like something that gives them permission to spew all of their hate. And it's just absolutely absurd. You can't take one fucking totin' single, like one person that agrees with them and be like, so everybody's right. Like that's everybody because that one person said it was right. Like, even though the majority, we live in a fucking democratic society where the majority rules, but unless it doesn't agree with what you think.
Yeah.
Well, the simplest and hardest thing we can do as a society, the simplest thing we can do as a society to break down all of that, we have to take seriously breaking down the tenets of white supremacy.
Agreed.
That has to come down.
Absolutely.
And that means that every marginalized group in this country is now going to have to say, hey, look, we have to break it down.
We're not going to take it anymore.
We're not taking
and
it
not
anymore.
only that, it's not just the marginalized people. White people, this is your fucking responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
This is up to us.
But it's also your problem.
It is.
So what happens to us ends up happening to you.
That's correct.
Yes.
Someone was talking about police brutality the other day, and someone said, more white people are affected by police brutality than black people. And someone said, you know what? If that is the case,
whose fault is that?
why aren't you doing something about it?
Okay. It's because
why aren't you marching in the streets?
We've accepted it.
Why aren't you? And I please take this with a grain of salt. Why aren't you do white lives matter when it comes to the police?
Okay.
Why are you not doing all the stuff to fix? You want to fix your schools? Your schools are messed up, but y'all don't want to do anything.
No. They want to complain about it.
Marginalized people keep telling white people, it's not just our problem, it's also yours.
Well,
you are being...
We've talked about this. Like, racism isn't just bad for minorities. It's bad for everyone.
Yes.
It's bad for everyone. And it's the same thing when we talked about, like we've said this so many times, the patriarchy. It's not just bad for women. It's bad for men, too.
It's bad for men, too.
It's bad for everyone involved. And God forbid if you don't identify as man or woman in a patriarchal society, you're just forgotten. But, like, it's... I'm sorry, y'all. I'm hot today. I'm so hot today, but I don't want to go over time. I need everyone to...
Well, we only have a minute left.
I know. I need everyone to shut up and listen. That's what I need. I need everybody to shut up and listen. If you would shut up and actually listen to other people who are qualified to talk about these things, that they are experts in their field, that you could possibly accept that information, even though you're not an expert in that field, and you want to argue about it, go ahead and argue about it. But I mean, your opinion isn't as qualified as theirs. I'm sorry.
What is the one thing I think that white conservatives say the most? What is the thing? It's your feelings don't do something. I forgot what it's called, but it's an expression that your feelings don't trump logic or something like that.
Oh yes, yeah.
We've heard that.
Oh, the one I always heard from my father was, you can wish in one hand and shit in the other, and see which one fills up faster.
But when it's turned in reverse, and we have to say, hey, but wait a minute, your feelings don't affect my whatever. I forget the saying. Somebody just tell me what it is. I forgot. Yeah, but it's really, we have to turn the tables. Yeah. We have to throw it back. I'm constantly having to explain why I exist as a black gay man.
Right.
And I would like for that conversation to be reversed.
Yes.
Simply because I am sick and tired of having to tell you that I exist. Now, don't get me wrong. The problems in being a black gay male in my own community, the homophobia is delicious.
Right.
It is off the rails. And some of the explanations that as much as I want to blame mostly men, a lot of black women are guilty of this as well. The homophobia is at an all-time it's on a different level. I've seen homophobia in the white community, and I'm like, I can deal with that. Mm-hmm. But in the black community, it's like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to carry a gun. And I don't mean that in any bad way, but I'm just saying that the black community, when it comes to homosexuality, follows the same tenets of white supremacy. Yep. And we have to break these. White supremacy has to be broken.
Yep, end it.
Yes.
It has to be ended.
End it.
Well, that was fun.
Hey, actually, so when we come back, we have some really great guests coming up, y'all. I know I've got Eric Tung coming up to talk about their involvement in roller derby, and roller derby is inherently queer positive and also very accepting of our trans siblings. So Eric is non-binary or gender fluid. I apologize, Eric, I don't recall. But they're absolutely adorable, brilliant mind, and loves roller derby.
Talk about roller derby.
Anyway, I'm excited to have them on. We've got Silver Steel and Charlie Knowlton coming on the show to talk about their experiences in gay porn.
I would love to talk about why Pornhub is no longer allowed in Texas. We have to talk about the next episode. The two things that I want to talk about the most are the men attacking women in New York, punching them randomly, the men who are doing that, and how we are talking about it. The fact that in every headline it's women are being attacked, not men are attacking women. They're removing men completely out of the violence that's being assaulted on to women, and I have a problem with that. The other thing that I want to talk about is Pornhub and Texas.
Yes.
I cannot wait to get into those episodes. Cannot wait to get into those, because those are going to be fascinating.
Yeah,
these are going to be fun. Yeah.
So, do we have anything to end any notes to end the show on? Because this was a fantastic episode. I'm always glad to be in the room with Wendy and Phoenix. I'm always glad to be in the room when it's just us, because we can have fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot to talk about.
It's a little more relaxed.
Share. It's a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's more Wendy and I than Phoenix. Phoenix just comes in with a laugh and Phoenix is one of these people that they don't talk much, but when they do, they have something to say.
Oh, and you want to listen.
And you want to listen.
I only have one thing to say. Say Nex Benedict's name.
Yes.
Say Nex Benedict's name.
That's it.
So that's the end of our episode, and we will see you guys in a few weeks with brand new episodes. We love you, and have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.